Well, Lori Daybell is once again standing trial, this time again in Arizona, where she's charged with conspiracy to commit the attempted murder of her niece's ex-husband, Brandon Bedreau. Now, in this episode, we're going to walk through the actual court filings and the police reports that Lori wants suppressed. From her handwritten jailhouse motions to suppress phone data and evidence tied to that infamous green Jeep Wrangler, to her Hail Mary attempt to get the entire case dismissed, let's examine the tactics and how they align with her dangerous, rebellious delusions. Well, hey folks, welcome to Profiling Evil. Now, this isn't just a woman seeking justice. It's a self-proclaimed prophetess trying to manipulate the courts like she did her own followers. But the evidence, documented in court filings, those digital footprints, and first-hand testimony tell a much different story. So welcome to Profiling Evil. Now, we're going to dive headfirst into this bizarre, unsettling world of Lori Daybell as she heads into yet another criminal trial. This one again in Arizona for the attempted murder of Brandon Bedreau. Now, as we get started, take a minute and hit that like and subscribe button down below. And make sure that you're ringing the bell so that you get all the notifications when we release new videos like this one. Now, if you thought the Idaho trials revealed the darkest corners of this doomsdayer's thinking, buckle up, because what Lori's doing now is less about defense, in my opinion, and more about preaching. She's not just claiming innocence, she's trying to ascend in the courtroom as some kind of a jailhouse prophetess, a spiritual warrior, wrongly imprisoned. And every document she's filing is dripping with delusion. So let's walk through first the handwritten motions, what they really mean, and why the evidence, stacked as high as her self-built religion, is likely to crush her celestial claims. So let's start with what's unfolding as we speak. Lori is once again representing herself in court. And if you followed any of her behavior in Idaho, you know that it's not because she's got a law degree hidden somewhere in her scriptures. It's because she, I think, truly believes that she answers to a higher power. No earthly judge or jury has jurisdiction over her, in her opinion. But oh, has she been proven wrong as she gets conviction after conviction. Now, this is the same woman who said her God appeared to her and told her that she was going to be exonerated. She also said she and Chad would be skipping along the beach somewhere. She ranked her family members by spiritual light, declaring them zombies when they no longer aligned with her. And in her mind, this trial isn't about attempted murder. It's about martyrdom. But the state of Arizona isn't buying into this strategy. So let's start off with Lori's motion to suppress all the phone data and the messages connected to her late brother, perhaps one of her victims and enforcer, Alex Cox. Now picture this. Lori, from her jail cell, handwrites a motion claiming that Alex, now that he's dead, that any digital text, locations, messages, nothing should be allowed in court. She claims that we can't determine Alex's intent, that somebody who could have been using his phone we couldn't prove, and that there's location data that would be, quote, pure speculation in her opinion. Well, this document says, Lori. In fact, it lays it all out, where investigators use geofencing from Google and from data from that Verizon phone to track Alex Cox's movements. And guess what? That phone, the one Lori claims might have been somebody else's, is pinging within yards of Brandon Bedreau's home at the exact time that this attempted shooting occurred. Now, it wasn't in Idaho. It wasn't in Texas. It was in Gilbert, Arizona, less than 100 feet from the muzzle flash that shattered Brandon's window. Now, add to that the texts and the iCloud messages that link directly to Chad and Lori. And think about this, under Arizona law, those messages are admissible as statements, even if the party is an opponent. So these aren't just casual text chatters. It's coordination. It's conspiracy. And it's not going away just because Lori doesn't like it. In fact, the judge said, it ain't happening. But now let's talk about that infamous green Jeep Wrangler, the one that Brandon Bedreau says he saw speeding away after the shot was fired at him. Now Lori claims that the Jeep was seized illegally, without a warrant, by Rexburg police. She cites a podcast interview where Detective Hermosillo allegedly admits to grabbing the Jeep before any paperwork was filed. Now again, this report goes all against that, and I really encourage you to go and check out this incident report from Gilbert PD. But the truth in this report is in black and white. The Jeep, it was tied to Charles Vallow, Lori's late husband, the husband that Alex Cox shot and killed. Now the vehicle was seen outside Brandon Bedreau's home during the shooting, and yes, Hermosillo did seize it, but not without a warrant. He had one in hand from November 1st, 2019, and he spotted the Jeep on the 4th, confirmed the VIN matched, and he called Arizona authorities saying, quote, "I've got your Jeep," close quote. Now there was a typo on the year, 2008 instead of 2018, but the VIN number matched and a corrected warrant followed immediately. Now that's not unlawful seizure, folks. That's just good policing. There was a clerical error. And that Jeep, it tested positive for gunshot residue. And, of course, that tire and the back seat that Lori was putting in and out of her storage unit. But she wants the court to believe this was all clerical abominations, like the entire state of Idaho and Arizona are conspiring against her. But that's the theology of a zealot, not the logic of a legal defense. So here comes the Hail Mary. Lori's motion to dismiss the entire case because the state didn't preserve the actual car door and window from Brandon's vehicle. Now, Lori claims that without the physical evidence, her team can't conduct its own ballistic testing. But here's the problem. This is 2025. Crime scene investigators documented everything. There are photos, there are diagrams, there are bullet fragments, and they've all been logged as recovered from that door jamb. So it might be true that Lori never touched the weapon. She wasn't even in the state when the attempted murder occurred, but she's still charged with conspiracy, not for pulling the trigger, but for conspiracy, conspiring to murder Brandon Bedreau. So even if the car door was sitting in the middle of the courtroom, it wouldn't erase the digital footprint that she left behind. Now let's kind of zoom out for a minute and talk about Melanie Bedreau. Why she's not in this testimony, I don't understand. This interview was critical, though. Melanie's testimony would be critical. Lori's niece and Brandon's ex, Melanie, tells investigators she knew nothing. But surveillance, travel documents, and statements might cause some people to think otherwise. There also are documents which show Alex was renting a U-Haul, booking flights and bouncing between Idaho and Arizona, all surrounding the attempted hit. These things aren't just coincidence. This is choreography. And at the center of it, Lori Daybell, issuing spiritual edicts like she's Moses on Mount Sinai. Well, while Lori tries to turn her trial into a revival meeting, let's refocus on who actually suffered in this case. Brandon Bedreau didn't just dodge bullets. He's been dodging threats to his life, legal warfare over his children, and a campaign of spiritual gaslighting that nearly got him killed. Now, court filings reveal the trauma. Melanie fled to Arizona with the children in the dead of the night. Brandon was granted emergency custody. And let's not forget, though, there are others. Charles Vallow, who was gunned down by Alex Cox. Now, Lori has been convicted as the co-conspirator of murder in that case. Then her children were killed, Tylee Ryan and J.J. Vallow, and she's been convicted of their murders, along with her new husband and co-prophet, Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy. All dead, all dismissed as dark spirits by a woman who believed that she was carrying out some kind of higher mission. Well, Lori Daybell's defense isn't built on law. It's built on lore. And her courtroom isn't a venue for justice. It's a sanctuary for her celestial ego. But as we head into this Arizona trial, the evidence is going to be overwhelming. The phone data, the Jeep, the travel logs, the witness statements, and yes, the spiritual madness that fueled it all. So no matter how many handwritten sermons she files from jail, Lori is not going to be ascending on this one. She's cornered. And this time, Arizona is not letting her preach her way out of it. And I think this is going to be an interesting trial, and I hope you're going to watch it just like I'm going to be watching. Well, that's it for today. Drop your thoughts below. I'd really like to know, do you think Lori's courtroom preaching is fooling anybody? And how do we make sure that we keep victims the focus where it belongs? That we keep the victims the focus, the thing that needs to be talked about. Hey, make sure you like our channel, subscribe, and share Profiling Evil. Check out Profiling Evil's audio podcasts on your favorite podcast platform. And if you'd like to better understand cult dynamics, I'd invite you to check out my book, Deceived, an investigative memoir of the Zion Society cult. Now, we've been pushing the proceeds from Deceived to a new children's advocacy center. You can see it pictured here, and that thing just opened its doors last week. In fact, some of the 32 children that I rescued in this cult investigation joined my wife and me at the ribbon cutting. And it was a very special moment, especially when two of the survivors spoke to the 250 VIPs that were in attendance. So just check out my books at profilingevil.com. And you might also like my book, She Knew No Fear, the story of the 1891 murder of my great-great-grandmother and how I solved her murder 130 years later. It's a great read, and if you live in the United States, I'll ship the book to you for free and I'll sign it. But anywhere else in the world, you can just find the book on Amazon. And please, watch for my new book that's going to be coming out next month. I think you're going to find it to be a really educational read. So thanks for watching. We'll see you soon at the next crime scene.